come on, please.
Just chill, bro, chill, okay? We're just messing with you. We do this to everyone, all right?
Oh, yeah.
Lighten up, lighten up.
Very funny. Ha ha ha. All right, let me down, please. Let me down.
Yeah, we'll let you down, we'll let you down. All right, hey, man, we better get going. We don't want to be caught whenever the girls get back. Hey, you look great. Say hi to the ladies for me, all right?
Hey, be sure to hang in there.
Come on, Jacob, hurry up.
Oh,
Hi. Hey, Scarecrow.
I'm never gonna get a girl. When that girl fell out of the sky and kissed me, it was doomed. Did you just kiss me? Did you just fall out of the sky? Do you need me to call you an ambulance or anything? You're okay? Okay. Oh, good. Chill. All right? Look, we obviously got off on the wrong foot. I'm Jacob. My name is Jacob.
What is your name? I mean, where did you even come from?
Well, you're not very chatty. I gotta get her number. Hey, listen, I would love to. What the hell? Where'd she go?
Hey, you bought new poker chips, right?
What? Oh, God, I'm sorry.
You had one job, dude.
I know, I'm sorry. I totally my bad. I'll make it up to you guys another time. God, I'm actually gonna hit the hay, I think.
You don't look great. Something wrong?
Yeah, did you get caught in that weird storm?
Storm? No, I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm good.
All right. Well, rest up. We're gonna go to get takeout in a bit anyway.
All right, cool. I'll see you guys later.
Later, Gator.
And from that moment, my life went to hell. I can't stop thinking about her. Oh, she's the most beautiful girl I've ever seen. Where'd she go?
Jacob, return to me.
Just a dream.
It's weird. What? Okay, there's an improvement. Puberty.
What? Oh my God. Oh my God. I gotta go to the doctor.
Technically, there's nothing wrong with you.
Okay, doctor, Look, I don't want to seem like a hypochondriac here, but I'm kind of f***ing out. This is nuts.
Jacob, you've been to me 7 times this semester.
Okay, I thought I had gout, all right?
You stubbed your toe.
Fine, all right, but please, I need your help here. I feel like I'm going f***ing crazy.
I am helping you, but you gotta relax a bit.
How could I possibly relax with this thing on my arm?
Look, we've ran all the tests, and you're normal.
Then why do I look like a I wish none of this ever happened. That's all I was looking for. What's up?
What the hell, Tim?
Look, there's a mysterious headhunter looking all over campus for you.
Come on, dude. Are you serious?
There's a $500 reward for bringing you in, of all people. Cold hard cash? Why would I turn that up?
No, okay, I cannot do this today, man. I have my econ test. I have so...
Look, you can come quietly, or I can go get the rest of the football guys, and then we can haul your down there. Sound good?
Fine.
There we go.
Fine.
Dude,
This better be worth
wasn't
it.
so hard, was it?
It's her.
You stole something from me. Give it back now.
What?
Wait. I got him. Sophie, where's my money?
So, her name is Sophie. Okay. So she's a rich girl.
Hey, Space Cadet, I asked you a question. Why did you take it from me?
Yeah, I asked you, what the hell are you talking about?
A blue bead? A blue dragon bead?
Look, I wish I could help you. I don't know what you're talking about.
I can feel it. Right here. No, right here. I knew it. If you don't have my bead, then how do you explain that? Fine, you can act dumb all you want, but I know for a fact you have my bead. And if my parents find out, you'll be in serious trouble.
Who are your parents?
Handing me the bead will be much easier than dealing with them, trust me.
Is that a threat?
Crap. No. Crap. Okay, I'm late for my econ test. I gotta go. I'll see you, okay?
I'll be seeing you, Jacob.
Think. Focus. It's like I just know the answers. I could get used to this.
How'd that test go?
Really good.
Yeah.
Can I tell you something if you promise not to tell anyone else?
Dude, I'm your best friend. You can tell me anything.
All right. Just
Oh, okay.
when I took that test, it was like I could see the answers.
Yeah, okay. I get like that when I'm locked in playing video games.
No. This was different. Like, I feel like my brain is changing.
So what? You're like a genius now?
I mean, maybe.
Okay, sure. Let's take it for a test run, huh? Professor Davis challenges his advanced study mathematics course for seniors to solve this problem every semester. He leaves it up there for his brightest students to solve. What do you think?
We'll give it a shot.
Yeah, right. You'll never get it.
That's it, right?
How the hell should I know?
Good lord. You solved it.
After I aced the econ test, I started playing the stock market.
I had more money than I knew what to do with.
Goodbye, student loans.
Jacob finally remembered your grandma.
I know. I'm sorry. I had the best week. I didn't have time.
Oh, come inside and tell me all about it. Oh, I missed you.
Where was a break-in down the street? Is everything okay in the neighborhood?
Don't worry about me. Tell me about this big week you had.
Grandma, it was like all my problems just went away. I mean, everything just worked itself out like that. It was amazing.
And you don't know why?
No. No, I mean, nothing was different. I've been having weird dreams, but that's it.
Weird? How so?
I was seeing dragons.
Dragons. Did I ever tell you about the shortcut in the town that I grew up in?
No?
It was a small town, and there was this pathway that made it faster to get to the town square. My mother warned me not to take it. She said a dragon lived in the woods.
A real dragon.
Ridiculous, I know. One day, there was a storm. I was with my two friends, twin sisters, and we got caught in the rain on our way to the fall festival. Well, the twins decided to take the forbidden path. I was too afraid. The twins arrived at the fall festival before me. On their way, they ran into a stranger on the forbidden path and got a treat. Oh, I wanted one of the apples, but they wouldn't share.
Grandma, I love you. I don't understand the point of this story.
Not finished. You see, 1 week after the twins ate those apples, their house burned down. The twins died, burned alive.
That's horrible.
Yes. Everyone in town swore it was a tragic accident.
And you didn't?
No. On the night they died, I swear I saw a creature flying in the sky. A dragon. I could just see its shape moving inside the cloud. It was terrifying.
Maybe it was a dream.
That's what your grandpa used to say. He never believed in anything like that. But I'll tell you one thing. I never took that shortcut.
How do you know if a shortcut is bad, though?
You don't.
What the hell?
What are you doing?
Go to bed, kid.
That's my grandma's stuff.
Yeah? Well, not anymore.
That's impossible.
I still gotta.
Shut up! Shut up! Jacob! Jacob, what are you doing? Oh! I've called the police. I've called the police. Oh, God. Oh, are you all right? Are you all right?
Yeah.
Sweetheart.
Supplies from Grandma Hell!
Oh, hell, Grandma, hell! Oh, hell!
Oh, man. Oh, shoot. These are my favorite.
Hey, no, dude. Come on, you almost don't like these.
I'd say let's arm wrestle for it, but I know you're too afraid because I always win.
Yeah. Sam's way stronger than me, but babe, you know I'm not afraid of you, though.
Oh, prove it.
I don't know.
You actually want to arm wrestle me?
Yeah, sure, let's do it.
I'll only use half my strength. I don't want to injure Grandma Ann's little.
Oh, yeah, try not to hurt me, man. Then I'll try not to hurt you.
All right, guys. 1, 2, 3, go.
What the hell? I never beat Sam.
You cheated. I wasn't ready.
Hey, come on. Maybe Jacob finally started hitting the gym.
For real? Dude, how'd you get so strong?
Call it dumb luck, man. Hey, don't worry though. We'll split the chocolate, you know, as a pity present.
Oh, yeah.
Where did it go?
You guys were fighting over that?
Dude.
My bad. My bad.
I'm gonna go study, I think. I have homework, so. I'll see you guys. Screw you for eating that chocolate, man.
Whoa. How is that even possible?
Hey, Sophie. Wait, you come back to apologize?
Ugh, yeah, right. I came back to warn you.
What? About what?
Her.
Who is she?
Jacob. We've been waiting for you. Please. Step inside the car. My employer is very eager to speak with you.
Whatever you do, do not get in the car with her. She can't be trusted.
Okay, but can I trust you, though? Because honesty is not really your thing.
Look, I've had my reasons, okay? But I won't let them hurt you just because they want to. I can protect you, but you have to let me.
I don't need your protection. Who's your employer?
A very powerful and wealthy man with the power to make you wealthy and powerful as well.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I think I'm good.
You're coming with me.
I'm not going anywhere with you.
Fine. We'll do this the hard way.
I can't move.
Stop! Leave him alone!
Whoa. Okay. Creepy. It was extra creepy, actually.
Play nice.
MTX?
MTX, they're a massive tech company. Everyone here is dressed like a maniac.
Well, I told you not to get in that car.
Well, thanks. I'll be sure to keep that in mind. See, Mr. Ducone?
Hello, sir. Pleased to meet you, my boy. My daughter Sophie has told me all about you.
Daughter?
Search him.
Ow! It's like his hands are sharking me with energy.
It's here.
In his pocket?
No. In his stomach.
Look, it's been really nice to meet everyone today. I think I might just go home.
Step into my office, boy.
Okay. Okay. Thanks. Hey guys. You can't do this to me!
We must cut it out of him. There is no other solution.
Whoa, just stop. Okay, do you want money? So I can pay you.
No! That will damage the gem.
Yeah, protect the gem, yeah.
Oh, we will burn the boy. The gem won't suffer from fire.
Silence! All of you! There will be no cutting or burning. I'm tired of listening to fools like you.
We only wanted to better serve you, Master.
This is a delicate situation. There is only one man I want to hear from. Elder Liam, what say you?
The gem in the boy's belly isn't a beat of power. It's Sophie's essence. And without her essence, she will wither and die.
You lost your very essence to this boy? How could you be so careless?
Oh, so now you take an interest in me, Father?
What were you even doing flying in the sky like that?
I was trying to escape.
Escape what?
Escape from you.
Your stubborn attitude may have just cost you your life.
Like father, like daughter.
Come on.
Stop him!
I'll kill her. Drop it. He's controlling me. Now. What is this? And what answers? Jacob, I think you've seen and heard enough. You know the truth about us.
The gem. The green tattoo. Oh my god. Dragons.
Yes, we are dragons. For most mortal men, swallowing dragon essence would be a death sentence.
This is insane.
But you're still alive. And that means that you may be dragon material. With the proper training, you may be able to become one of us.
I am not a dragon.
Not yet, but with cultivation techniques, you might be. There's only one thing you must do.
What?
Marry my daughter and consummate the marriage. We have prepared a ceremony.
What the hell? You couldn't ask me first? I'm not a prize goat.
Yeah, I mean, she's beautiful and everything, but I cannot get married. Absolutely not.
And if you don't, she will die. And if she dies, you die too. But only after enduring intense and prolonged suffering from me.
No, that cannot be true.
Are you serious? He was in the wrong place at the wrong time. Yeah, he stole my bead, but he can't die. There must be another way.
Does she actually care about me?
Sweet child. I can't imagine losing you. I beg you to marry him.
Fine. This is not how I imagined my wedding day to be, but if I must marry him to survive, I'll do it.
Are you serious?
Jacob, what do you say?
Sophie is only a high school girl, while I'm only 20.
Age is a human construct, Jacob.
Now that you are one of us, you must guard our common secret. By doing so, you are also protecting yourself.
This is insane. These people are delusional. If they're all ancient mystical creatures, why the suits? Maybe it's some scam to get what? My money? My loyalty? My soul?
It seems you still don't believe us. Perhaps you need a more direct demonstration. Witness the real you now. Your turn. This power flows in your veins.
What? What did you just do to me?
This is the first chapter of the Spirit Concentration Scroll. It is simple, and you will master it by meditating for half an hour every night. I will check your progress periodically, and you will be punished if you don't meet my requirements.
My God. The old man looks harmless, but is actually quite aggressive. But when did I promise to cultivate this stuff?
Don't be afraid, Jacob. This is your heritage, your birthright, and Sophie's too.
I don't want all this. I am not a dragon.
Too late. The awakening has already begun. These cultivation techniques will do you good instead of harm. On the other hand, if you don't cultivate them, you will be in danger. From now on, I'm your guardian in our circle. If you have any questions, just call me.
They even have visiting cards. My university?
Remember your identity. From now on, you are not only a student of the university, but also the son-in-law of the head of Dragon Clan.
Dragon? Dragon King? Is Draken...
That's enough for today. You still have a class this afternoon, right? Why don't you head back?
This can't be real. Dragons? Secret societies? The university vice president? Real streets, real people, no dragons. Where are you?
Art class. Old building. Are you okay? We were pretty worried.
I'm fine. I'm on my way back. I'll see you in a bit.
All good, bro? What happened? Nothing. Everything's fine. Seems like Kathy has started taking a lot of interest in you lately.
Kathy's the most popular girl here, but could she be one of them?
Hello. What's going on with you today?
Nothing. I was just thinking the name of our vice principal.
Yeah, Liam Davis, but why? I don't know about the other VPs, but he's of great importance. Plus, everyone regards him. They say he can get anyone expelled with just a phone call. But why are you asking about him?
Nothing. I was just curious.
Jacob Miller, stand up and answer the question.
Well, the techniques is...
Just as I thought. Next time you decide to grace us with your presence, Mr. Miller, try to arrive on time and pay attention. Sit down. So what's the real story with that Mercedes pickup?
Yeah, looked way too fancy for a surprise lunch.
My mother's elder brother from Singapore came down to see me. It was a surprise visit. He just picked me up for a meal, that's all. Can they sense that I am lying?
Singapore, huh? Great though. You haven't been yourself lately. Did you get rejected by a girl?
Nah, I've been busy lately. I need to take this. Hello?
Are you fine? What happened this morning?
Oh, that! Well, my uncle actually returned from overseas and surprised me with a meal.
I see. Where are you?
I'm in my dorm room.
Do you want to go for a walk? The moonlight is pretty right now.
Class President Kathy is asking me to go for a walk? At night, under the moonlight? Well, I am alright, really. It's getting late and I have quite a bit of homework to do. Maybe another time.
If you have any questions, just ask me. No matter what, I am your class president. I need to take care of you. Isn't that right?
Haha, well, thank you for your concern.
No worries.
Who was it? Spill it, dude.
Oh, Jacob, I like you so much.
No one.
You've been pretty mysterious lately. Not sure what you've been up to.
If someone sees me and Kathy taking a walk, I'm not sure how the teachers would react. Shouldn't Kathy be concerned about this?
Let the man have his secrets, Sam.
A man needs mysteries. Keeps the soul alive.
Don't wake up! Don't wake up! Might as well give it a try. Clear mind. Focus on the golden script. 2 hours? It felt like minutes. It's completely healed. Is this real? Whatever, I've done my part. Time to go to bed. In the next few days, life had become dull. All the attention that I'd attracted last week was gone. However, Kathy still seemed to have an interest in me. In the next few days, life seemed normal on the surface, but each night I was changing.
Still the champ.
Yeah, don't get cocky. My strength was back to normal, and Sam could once again defeat me in arm wrestling.
Hurry up! Hurry up! We have to get the seats in the front row.
What's the big deal? It's just another class.
Just another class? It's the class with Professor Susan. We're too slow! Save 2 seats for us.
No man, this is so far behind.
These people skipped classes to get those seats. What can I do?
Didn't you claim that you must marry her? You don't even have the guts to skip class.
Weren't you excited since yesterday for her lecture? Why didn't you bunk your class? You've been having quite a few eye contacts with Kathy lately. Are you guys secretly dating?
I've been with you all day. When do you think I have these secret dates?
I'm in heaven. It would be so pleasant to have this kind of lecture every day.
She's really pretty. Not only boys, but even the girls in the class had good reason to admire her.
Today, we are going to talk about the 3rd module. Everybody, open your textbook to page number 73.
The 90-minute lecture sadly came to an end after all.
You, follow me to my office.
Me?
No, not you, the one to your right.
Why me?
Jacob looked confused as he pointed to himself. Susan nodded. Wow. The crowd gasped loudly, and murmurs spread across the classroom. The pretty teacher who caught every student's attention, and also the one who didn't give anyone any attention barring teaching her class, was acting out of the ordinary. Jacob being called out by her was shocking, and not only Jacob came in the limelight once again, he was getting shocked and envious looks from all the boys in the room. Susan nodded at Jacob without saying a word. She grabbed her lecture notes and walked out of the classroom. Jacob followed her, having no idea what on earth Susan had in mind for him. Walking through the hallways and passing the overbridge between the academic buildings, Jacob walked into Susan's office as a crowd of students looked at him with curiosity. Susan was a bit of a celebrity in the mechatronic engineering department and the university as a whole, owing not just to her beauty, but also the fact that she was single. Susan took out a key and opened the office door. Jacob smelled something refreshing as soon as the door opened. There were 6 or 7 pots of plants on the windowsill. The antique wooden furniture was far different from that provided by the university. It looked like Susan had bought them herself. The decoration of the entire office was elegant and graceful, making it seem like her own little world. Having her own office when most of the teachers had to share with each other showed that Susan's status here wasn't ordinary. All those carved chairs and shelves looked pricey. Susan's family seems to be well off, Jacob thought as he observed the office. Susan closed the door and placed her lecture notes on the table. She pulled out a rosewood chair and sat down gracefully. She looked at Jacob and asked, "Where are you from?" "Mechatronic engineering," Jacob answered. Jacob looked around the office and thought that he was probably the first student who was lucky enough to be here. "Don't try to avoid the topic," Susan stared at Jacob and said, Jacob was confused. He was a student of the mechatronic engineering department. Where else could he be from? Susan looked annoyed now as her otherwise pretty-looking face twisted into a nasty scowl. She took her slender hand and grabbed Jacob's wrist tightly. It didn't seem like she had that kind of strength, but Jacob knew he couldn't move his arm even if he tried. As I expected, your element is water. Tell me, where do you belong? River, stream, lake, or ocean? Susan moved closer to him now, and all Jacob could think of was how many guys would die of jealousy right now if they saw this. I... Jacob was too confused and distracted to answer. If you can't answer me, I have enough reasons to kill you, Susan said with a shrewd expression, and her eyes made Jacob's body shiver with fear. Susan continued to glare at Jacob and minced her words in anger. How can this be happening? How can a normal being like you give out the aura of a dragon? How did you learn the cultivation technique? She moved away from Jacob and sat back into her chair. Jacob hesitated for a moment and said, I learned it from Liam Davis. Susan frowned in surprise. Oh, is that so? It is a bit weird that a normal human can mingle with the likes of a prominent dragon clan. How do you know Liam? Jacob was tired of all the new information he had been receiving the past few days. Feeling overwhelmed, he threw his hands in the air in despair and said, I'm not sure if I should be talking about this anymore. Who are you? I'm an inspector, and it seems that you don't know much anyway. Susan rubbed her head as if suppressing a headache. She waved at Jacob to leave, saying, You can go now. I'll have a word with Liam. She made it look like she was in a higher position than Liam, despite him being the vice principal and her being a teacher. Jacob was totally puzzled as he got up to leave. He was about to go out the door when Susan said, Though you're new, I still need to warn you that I won't hesitate to kill you if you reveal our secrets to the world. Phew! Jacob drew a long breath of relief after he shut the door to Susan's office. As soon as he reached his dorm, he was flooded with questions from the university boys who had gathered in the room. What did Susan ask you? Why was she looking for you? Did you go to her office? Don't try to keep anything from us, dude. Did you do anything that drew her attention? Jacob was surrounded by them, but he didn't part with any information as he didn't forget Susan's warning. Realizing they couldn't get anything from Jacob, the boys decided to turn to his roommates as they were his closest friends. However, Sam and the other two didn't know what Jacob had done to catch Susan's attention. The four of them were always together when they were at the university, but they didn't notice anything else Jacob did that would interest someone like her. As a consequence, Jacob going to Susan's office had become a mystery among the students. Jacob brought them a lot of gossip and surprises these days. Gradually, people started to think that Jacob was someone special. However, as the person involved, Jacob didn't join in the conversation with the others. He was wondering what they would think about him if they found out that he still had the vice principal's visiting card. It was late in the evening by the time the curious boys dispersed from Jacob's dorm room, leaving the four roommates to themselves. However, they were all way too excited to fall asleep. Especially Sam, who kept asking Jacob what was with him and Susan. Jacob could make an excuse to fool the others, but it was hard to lie to Sam and his other roommates. But he thought it was safer if he remained silent and did not give Susan a chance to kill him. All the visitors are gone, and we're like your brothers. Jacob, can you just tell us what Susan asked you for? Sam asked sincerely. The other two strained their ears, hoping Jacob would spill the beans. Please stop talking about it and get some rest. Jacob sighed and felt very helpless. That is so unlike you. You tell me everything. Sam was deeply disappointed. Dude, you have been so secretive lately, said another roommate. Jacob couldn't help it. He used to be able to talk about anything with his friends, but in this case, there was nothing he could do. But you do seem to have some luck with the ladies for sure, said the fourth roommate all of a sudden. The lights of the dorm were switched off, and the four guys were talking in the dark and weren't tired at all. Yeah, I think our class president, Kathy, is interested in you too, the roommate continued. How come? Asked Jacob. Finally, a topic he could participate in. She keeps turning around to look at you nowadays. Don't tell me you didn't notice that, Sam chimed in. Make your move if you like her. What's the point of hesitating? The fourth roommate insisted. Don't be silly. I think she's just concerned about a fellow classmate, said Jacob. Jacob felt a bit panicky. He really didn't care too much about these things anymore. He felt that he got involved in something he wasn't supposed to. Now he was unable to get away from it, and there would be danger waiting for him at any time. Class crushes were hardly something on Jacob's mind. Don't you like Lisa, the most popular girl in the school? Teased Sam. That is all you, all right? I never liked her, said Jacob. But she is indeed beautiful. Someone else in the room likes her too, doesn't he? Don't you talk about me, said the third roommate. You were the only one all over her, Sam. Yeah, Sam is the ladies' man, teased the fourth roommate. The boys continued to talk and laugh until the morning, which left Jacob no chance to go out and cultivate at midnight. But he enjoyed spending time with his friends. It seemed like it had been forever since he had a normal conversation, let alone a night of banter. The next day was Friday, and they were all pretty close to the weekend. However, the only topic on everyone's lips was Jacob and Susan. Even Kathy, who never talked in class, was quietly discussing with the girls around her from time to time. Jacob could tell that she was talking about Susan from the annoyed looks she gave him. The teacher couldn't concentrate on the subject at hand as the students continued to discuss the hot topic. Although he had warned them a few times, it didn't stop the murmurs. It will probably be over by this weekend. They're just too bored, I guess. Last time when an attractive guy from fourth year began flirting with Lisa, everyone was talking about that with great interest. However, they switched their interest to something else in 2 or 3 days. Spinning his pen, Jacob hoped in vain. There was a knock on the classroom door, and the teacher, who was already annoyed with the students making noise, opened the door angrily. He was ready to lash out on the student who had dared to come this late to the lecture, but he was shocked to find Vice Principal Liam Davis standing outside. Sir Liam, please come in, the teacher said quietly and took half a step back involuntarily. Liam kept a straight face and walked in. He looked at the teacher and then at the students in the class before asking, How can a class be so disruptive and loud? Seeing the vice principal enter the class, the students stopped talking completely. No one ever expected him to visit the class, and unfortunately, the class was being unusually loud when he was walking by. Liam's eyes were sweeping over the students in the class. When he made eye contact with Jacob, Jacob couldn't help but shiver. He felt his body freeze up for a moment. Get your class under control and teach it well. Liam left promptly with these words. The students looked at each other in despair, and no one dared to talk again. The teacher felt such a relief at that moment and nodded with satisfaction as he saw that all his students were finally quiet. He could now teach in peace. Jacob gave a sigh of relief as well. He had a feeling that Elder Liam had come here on purpose, but he was glad he left him alone. The lunch break came pretty quickly once the class was quiet. However, Jacob and his friends did not have another class that afternoon, which meant they were free to go home or stay at the university and chill. They all decided to head back to the dorm and play cards. As they walked from one academic building to another to get to their dorm, they passed by the gate and saw a limousine in the parking lot. They approached the car and started talking about it. So there's an arrogant rich kid getting picked up by a car like that, huh? Said Sam in a condescending tone. They had heard about a handful of rich kids at the university who got picked up on weekends by... But it was the first time for them to see someone getting picked up by a luxury car like this one. It wasn't prom, it was just a weekend. Why a limousine? Not only the 4 of them, but all the other students who lived in the dormitories had never seen a car like this and were admiring it as well. Whoever walked by the gate slowed down either intentionally or unintentionally in order to see who was getting picked up by the car. Is someone trying to show off by getting picked up in this kind of car? Laying his arm on Jacob, Sam said disdainfully as they approached the car. Yeah, obviously they're showing off, said Jacob. There was nothing wrong with maintaining a low profile, especially at a school or college. They turned around to go to their dorm when the car doors suddenly opened. 2 tall men in black suits and a short elderly man got out of the car. Seeing the old man, Jacob got bitterly disappointed because he had seen this elder at Sophie's father's office. He was Elder Frank, the old and disrespectful man Sophie hated so much that she wished she could tear him apart. "Jacob, Miss Sophie's family has invited you for a visit," the elder said, with a twinkle of joy in his eyes. Jacob stared at the old man, stupefied. Sam and the others, however, suddenly let go of his arm and stepped away to stand at a distance from him. There were quite a number of students walking by the dorm entrance. Some had just got back from their classes, and the others were leaving for home with their backpacks. The others were simply curious about the limousine. They all started staring at Jacob curiously as the uniformed man and the elderly man approached him. Jacob was completely embarrassed, but he kept silent. "Please get in the car," Elder Frank said to Jacob reverently. "No!" Jacob's stubbornness exploded as he shouted. "What the hell is this? I didn't even get a notice beforehand." Jacob wasn't pleased about this at all. "My son, you are already engaged to Sophie. It's best not to act irrationally on these things," said Elder Frank. Although none of the other students were within earshot of their conversation, Sam and his other roommates could hear each and every word. Engaged? They couldn't help but say it out loud. "Who's Sophie?" Sam asked the others, confused by what was happening. But they simply shook their heads blankly in response. "Would you like us to keep waiting here?" Elder Frank asked kindly. "All right, you win." Seeing a crowd of students gathering, Jacob quickly got into the car without wasting another second. The black limousine drove away from the entrance along with Jacob. "It will be hard for it to be low-key after this," thought Jacob. "What's the deal with Jacob?" Sam spoke up as the car drove out of the university gates. The vehicle drove smoothly through the city for a little while before it arrived at a 2-story house. No one would think of it as the house of a rich family by its unpretentious look. The vehicle stopped, and Elder Frank got out of the car along with Jacob. He rang the doorbell. "Come in." A cheerful lady wearing an apron opened the door and said softly, "I've brought him, madam. I'm heading back now. Please call me if you need anything," Elder Frank told the woman politely. "Yes, thank you, Elder Frank. I won't keep you from your work. It seems like you are about to break through the 9th level of Purple Light Scroll. I won't waste any more of your time," she said softly. "Thank you, madam." Elder Frank curtsied, sat back inside the limousine, and drove away. The woman smiled at Jacob, who was at the door, and said, "Come and sit down." She had a warmth in her smile and a friendly face. Her hair was tied up elegantly as if she had just walked out of a painting. Seeing her, Jacob forgot about all the unpleasantness that had happened just a few minutes ago. "Oh my!" he exclaimed as he walked into the house. He stepped into the living room, which was cozy and luxurious. "You haven't eaten yet, have you?" She guided Jacob inside the house and asked. "No, not yet," he answered politely. He couldn't be annoyed anymore after this kind of treatment. Talking to this lady reminded him of his mother, who he hadn't seen in a long, long time. "I'm Helen, Sophie's mom. Her dad has gone to pick her up from school, and they should be back soon. Go ahead and take a seat. I'll go cook." She led Jacob to the couch and smiled. Then she walked into the kitchen. This must be the precise definition of what an understanding wife and loving mother is like, Jacob thought to himself as he watched her walking away. Jacob sat down and looked around the house. Even though it appeared to be plain and simple looking on the outside, the interiors and the decoration were elegant and resplendent. A white staircase to the left led to the bedrooms on the second floor. There was a study on the right. A large, dark brown bookshelf inside the study depicted how knowledgeable the family was. The rug in the living room was soft and plush. Jacob could judge how wealthy the family was by looking at the size of the medieval-styled chandelier that hung in the middle of the living room. The doorbell rang, and soon Jacob heard footsteps approaching the living room. Dracon entered with Sophie, and as soon as she saw Jacob, she gritted her teeth. Sophie was wearing her light blue school uniform. Though she gritted her teeth with hate when she saw Jacob, she wasn't surprised at seeing him. Her dad had informed her of Jacob's arrival. "Oh, you're here," Dracon greeted Jacob with a friendly smile. Hello. Jacob quickly stood up and greeted him. He didn't really see Dracon as his father-in-law, but he had to be polite since he was a guest here. He glimpsed at Sophie, who was now sitting on the chair, pouting. Jacob shivered at the thought of getting engaged and falling in love with a young girl like her, not to mention their complicated background. It's okay, Soph, Dracon said calmly and turned to Sophie. You guys chat. I still have some work to do. He walked into the study and started going through some documents. Sophie stood on the carpet as she stared at Jacob. She looked like she wanted to eat him alive. Let me warn you, I never agreed to marry you, she said aggressively. The problem is, I never wanted to get married to you either, okay? What can I do when I've been kidnapped and brought here? Jacob gave Sophie an angry look as well. He then thought to himself, should I be getting angry at a schoolgirl? Oh no, wait, she's my fiancée. Jacob gritted his teeth. I'm going upstairs to play on my computer. Sit by yourself. Sophie gave Jacob a scornful look and began to walk towards the stairs. Sophie, where do you think you're going? Go back and sit with Jacob now. Dracon's stern voice came from the study. Sophie gritted her teeth and stopped walking. She pouted after contemplating seriously for a while, rolled her eyes, and slowly walked back down to the living room as if there were thousands of stones tied around her feet dragging her down. She sat on the couch beside Jacob reluctantly. We can watch some TV if you don't want to talk. Jacob looked at her reluctantly and turned on the television with the remote control. Sophie kept on staring at him angrily. Ignoring her, Jacob went on browsing the channels to find something interesting to watch. A kids' channel came on and the song Baby Shark began to play. Is that good? Jacob turned to her. That's more like your taste. How dare you? Sophie reached out to grab something from the table to hit him with. Sophie! Dracon thundered out her name again from the study. He knew exactly what Sophie was doing. It seemed as if he had left a pair of eyes in the living room. Sophie kept down the vase that she had grabbed reluctantly, but her eyes were still fixated on Jacob. I'm warning you, do not make me mad. Jacob smiled lightly. You hate me that much? Sophie pouted. Well, I don't like you at all. Me neither. You are always mad, and you are not all that pleasant to be around either. It would be a pity if anyone had to marry you, said Jacob. How could you? Sophie's eyes were wide as she looked at Jacob. Stop fighting, you two. You are going to be husband and wife in the future. Helen walked out of the kitchen with a dish in her hands. Mom, he is bullying me, Sophie said in a childish manner. I saw it all, and you were the one bullying him. Now be nice to Jacob and make him feel at home. He has come here for the first time. Helen smiled softly and walked back into the kitchen. Fine, good for you. You uncle. Even my parents are on your side. Sophie had her scowl back on as soon as her mother left the room. Why are you so reluctant in marrying me, by the way? Is it because I'm a stranger, or that you don't like me? Or is it because you have a boyfriend at school? He asked as he thought about all the high school couples he saw on the street when he had gone to meet Sophie at her school. She looked cute that day, thought Jacob. Maybe if she was seeing someone, there might just be some way out of this, Jacob thought happily. He then thought about the bead in his stomach and felt disappointed all over again. He asked again, Answer my question. Are you seeing someone, Sophie? Sophie turned to look at Jacob's face and studied his features. She noticed his brown eyes and soft hair. For a second, she couldn't take his eyes off him and seemed to be studying his inquisitive eyes. Jacob cleared his throat and asked again, gently this time, Sophie, are you dating someone at school? I'm not interested in any of them, and even if I were, they are nothing like me. They could never realize how liberating it feels to be different. To be stronger, to feel the wind, to soar amongst the clouds. She trailed off, lost in thought. She snapped out of it and said, Anyway, they aren't so mature that they could understand any of this. Jacob looked at her. You're not exactly mature yourself either. Of course, I'm not as mature as you, Uncle. She emphasized on uncle on purpose to tease him about his age. He was a college student, after all. Jacob smiled and stopped grilling her. He turned around and looked at Dracon, who was busy reviewing documents in his study room. It was amazing to watch a dragon king blend into the regular world so seamlessly, and to be one of the best businessmen in the country, too. He had a hint of admiration for Dracon, and for his wife Helen as well, who was busy cooking a homely meal for all of them. He felt right at home. He was surprised at the sudden turn of events, but he had a good feeling about being a part of this family. He hadn't had that feeling in so long.
Dinner time.
Helen called out from the dining room as she brought the last 2 dishes out from the kitchen to the table. Sophie's father, Dracon, put down the documents he was studying and walked out from his study.
Jacob, come eat with us,
Helen said to Jacob gently. Sophie stared at Jacob and looked cross. She still wasn't comfortable with him being treated like family, much less his fiancé. Reading Sophie's mind, Helen said,
Don't make that face, dear. Even if Jacob isn't your fiancé, he's still our guest.
She patted Sophie's head and nudged her towards the table. Jacob's brain froze again when he heard the word fiancé. Sit down and eat, Dracon said to Jacob, as he himself sat down promptly as soon as he entered the dining hall. Jacob felt a little awkward, but he couldn't resist their invitation. He sat on the chair opposite Dracon and sat down.
Are you busy at school?
Helen asked Jacob as she passed him the bowl of gravy.
It's going all right.
Jacob answered, but felt weird. He had just met them. Why was he so comfortable eating at their house and interacting with them like a family? He racked his brain to start a safe topic of conversation so that it does not go back to Sophie and his wedding again. He finally remembered that he wanted to know more about the Dragon Clan, and now seemed like the right time to ask.
I know that you have a lot of questions about us, but I believe you will get used to it gradually,
Helen said, as if she knew what Jacob was thinking.
Sophie is just in high school. Normally speaking, it's too early to talk about marriage at this age.
However, marriage in your case has become time-sensitive. But it is not out of the ordinary to settle such matters in our circle at an early age. I must admit that Sophie's life is in your hands.
Jacob was stunned. He began listening to Helen intently.
You swallowed Sophie's internal core. If we want, we could take it out by force from your body, but it will definitely cause you a severe injury. Sophie is a kind-hearted young lady, and she doesn't want you hurt at any cost, and nor do we. More importantly, she does not want you to bear the consequences because of her carelessness.
Helen paused a bit here. Jacob couldn't resist looking at Sophie at this moment, and she met his gaze.
She may not be in love with me, she may not even know me all that well, but she has the makings of a good wife, thought Jacob. So, we've decided to keep Sophie's internal core in your body and want you to start cultivating.
Helen started speaking again.
However, I must mention that this is not entirely safe either. If you can't reach a certain level in a certain amount of time, in other words, if your body can't suppress the overflowing energy of the internal core, the aftermath will be dangerous as well, she said.
Jacob became nervous when the elegant and gentle Helen suddenly turned so serious. I don't mind telling you more, Dracon said abruptly. Actually, there won't be any negative effects for Sophie if we take it out of your body and return it to her. Yet, in order to have other elders believe in us, I asked Elder Liam to lie. He told them that Sophie wouldn't be able to adjust to the dragon core after it has stayed in your body. If it was left up to them, they would not have hesitated to take away your life for her. After hearing his words, Jacob felt like he was amongst countless dangers. He was half a step away from heaven just a few days ago. Dracon looked at Jacob. You have two options now. First, let us take out the core by force. This is a huge risk. Second, cultivate according to what we give you. There will still be a risk, but it will be much smaller. What I want to know is, Jacob looked at Sophie, how will Sophie be affected after losing it? The way Jacob took Sophie's name, she felt a hint of endearment and concern in it. She liked that he cared about her, but she was still uncomfortable whenever she thought about marrying him. There isn't any danger at the moment.
However, 3 years from now, if you can't open up all the openings of the Dragon Core and transfer half of the Connate Dragon essence back to her, she won't be able to live for more than 2 years, Dracon said.
Silence suddenly struck the dining table. In other words, if we follow the second option, everybody has to take risks. Sophie won't have to take any risks with the first option, but it will be very dangerous for me. Is that right? Jacob asked. Indeed. Dracon nodded. Is it necessary to get married? Jacob asked. If everyone chooses the second option, you guys could only accomplish the required rituals by marrying each other. Are there any other options? Jacob asked. Temporarily, no. Dracon answered straight away. Since you guys don't have any objections, let's follow the second option. Dracon hit the table and said, Let's eat. Daddy! Sophie still wanted to protest, but she stopped after looking at the expression on Dracon's face. Sophie, you have to take responsibility for your mistake. Helen comforted Sophie. I've done some research on Jacob. He's a great kid who is considerate and respectful towards elders. Your dad and I are very happy. Why else would we agree to this? On hearing Helen's words, Jacob felt a smile come across his face. He was still feeling pretty awkward about the situation and was as uncomfortable as Sophie about their new life together. How's your grammar, Jacob? Helen asked Jacob suddenly. I'm pretty good at it, actually. Well, Sophie is pretty good at all subjects, but gets stuck at grammar. Come tutor Sophie for English grammar every day for the time being and get to know her better, Helen said. Don't we already know enough about him? Sophie pouted her lips and said quietly. Jacob wasn't sure about coming here every night. Besides, he never had experience as a tutor before. At the same time, Sophie can also teach you about cultivation. I think it'll be great for everyone that you guys help each other out, Helen said. Sophie and Jacob had no way out of this, and they both knew they had to do this regardless of how they were feeling. He thought about it and said, Fine, but you guys don't need to send the car to pick me up. I'll come on my own. Sure, it's not too far from your college. There is a bus stop near your campus to bring you here directly. Helen smiled when Jacob agreed to her plan. Jacob turned around and looked at Sophie. She looked a lot like her mother and probably had the same sweet smile. He kept looking at her and kept repeating the word fiancé in his mind. She might be unhappy now, but I sure can see the beauty on the inside, thought Jacob. The dinner went smoothly after the situation became increasingly clear to all four of them. However, the tension didn't seem to melt. Dracon was still worried about his daughter. Helen was trying to pacify everyone. Sophie was still pouting with the decision of her marriage, and Jacob, well, he was dealing with it all. The family began to eat after clearing the air, and slowly, light chit-chat about work and the weather began. During the conversation, Jacob learned that the interiors of the house were done by Helen herself. Helen's non-dragon identity was that of an interior designer, and she was a renowned name in her field of work. As Helen revealed more about her work, Jacob was surprised to find that one of the top 10 landmarks in Wisconsin was a masterpiece designed by Sophie's mother. It was the stadium shown in the promotional pictures of the admission brochures of his university. It just finished construction last year.
Her father is a successful businessman, and her mother is an outstanding designer. The family is not just kind-hearted, but has also acquired wealth and have made commendable achievements. Even if they weren't dragons, Sophie had so many reasons to be proud of her parents. Jacob ate and thought at the same time. While dining, Helen was the one talking to Jacob the entire time. Dracon ate quietly beside her and would nod or add a word or two to the conversation. Sophie was eating with her head low, trying to focus on the food, but actually made a mess out of everything on her plate. Her peas were smashed, her chicken was in shreds, and her gravy and potatoes were well merged together. She clearly had a lot going on in her mind. "Are your parents out of the country?" Helen asked Jacob. "Yes, they should be back next month," Jacob answered. Helen thought for a few moments and said, "How about a meet-up between the two families when your parents come back?" Jacob's heart sank. He was only beginning to accept his new circumstances, and the fact that Sophie was going to be his wife in the near future, but Helen's request put him at unease again. He thought, if Mom and Dad find out that I found a high school girl and chose her to be my wife, I have no idea how they would react. Helen could sense Jacob's hesitation, but continued talking. "Since everything is settled, it's normal for the two families to meet, isn't it?" Jacob looked at Helen and understood her perspective as a mother. She was right, and they had every right to meet his family. Sophie couldn't take it anymore and burst out saying, "I didn't say I'll marry him." "You have to be responsible for the mistake you made. If you hadn't run off after he swallowed your core, why would we be doing this at all? Are you being defiant because you want others to bear the consequences of your wrongdoings?" Helen's expression was still gentle, but her tone was firm and a bit harsh. Sophie stopped talking because she knew that she was in the wrong. Yet she was very unwilling to marry a complete stranger, that too a college man, for this kind of mistake. "Jacob is thoughtful, and I am happy with him being a part of this family." Helen looked at Sophie and said, "You're not a child anymore, and you can't always lose your temper every now and then. You have to start realizing your responsibility and being mature. How long can your dad and I protect you? We also want you to learn from what has happened. You can't continue to act like a spoiled child." Sophie looked at Helen with a sad expression when she heard her mother talking to her in a heated tone. She wanted to cry, but didn't want to disgrace herself in front of Jacob. All that she could do was bite her lip and endure it. Seeing Helen lecture Sophie, her father, Dracon, remained silent. He obviously agreed with what Helen said. Jacob felt that there was another meaning behind how Sophie's parents were treating this matter. However, Sophie was too young to understand. Are they trying to utilize this chance to entrust Sophie to me? Can it be that even with their capability and background, there are still some dangers that they can't talk about? Jacob thought. Jacob. Helen turned and looked at him directly and said, "Sophie still has the temper of a child. Please bear with her in the future." "Yes, I know." At this time, Jacob could only agree. Sophie's eyes turned red as if she was about to cry. Dracon sensed her feelings and said gently, "Go get some rest if you're done with your dinner, Soph." Sophie nodded and went upstairs, climbing up slowly. Each thud of her footsteps resounded in the dining room. Jacob looked at her petite body moving upwards and then turned around to look at Helen and Dracon. "Let her be alone for a while," Helen said. Jacob smiled awkwardly and began to focus on the remaining food on his plate. "Honestly speaking, what do you think of Sophie?" Helen asked after a few minutes had passed. "She has taken a big decision at a young age, and I admire her courage. She is a wise girl, and I think she will do very well in her life.
Jacob expressed honestly. He thought to himself, Sophie wasn't exactly acting mature right now, but who wouldn't want to run away from a situation like this at her age? You're much more mature than her. Please take care of her for us. Her father and I are usually busy as we have a lot on our plate at all times. That's why we don't have much time to take care of her. It has made her personality more stubborn and arrogant. Helen looked at Jacob and said sincerely, I'll do what I can. Jacob nodded. Even though he didn't really know how to take care of Sophie, he wanted to learn how to for her parents' sake, and of course, he had to ensure the safety of his fiancée at the same time. He could understand how Sophie was feeling right now. When he was young, his parents were also busy working and didn't take care of him much. Therefore, he was more independent and had been a bit self-centered as well. It was fortunate that he had a caring grandma who always looked after him, and that allowed him to have better memories of his childhood. Sophie had nobody that would pull her out of her cocoon. Could you go upstairs and keep her company? Helen seemed concerned about Sophie. Jacob nodded and immediately put down his fork and got up. He was done with dinner anyway. He climbed up the stairs, glancing at a few abstract paintings that hung on the walls along the staircase. Jacob walked slowly. It felt like he was inside an art gallery. Through a small window in the corner of the second floor, Jacob saw the tranquil and beautiful garden from a window, and couldn't help but admire Helen's sense of design. Sophie's bedroom was the first room on the corner of the second floor. Jacob could tell by the tiny pink toy rabbit hanging on the door. He stood at the door and knocked. No sound came from the inside. Hello, you won't let me in? Jacob stood there for a few seconds and asked. You can go complain to my parents if you want. Sophie's heavy voice came from the inside. Jacob smiled and took a few small steps on purpose to create the illusion of him walking downstairs. She quickly ran towards the door. She actually thought that Jacob had gone downstairs to tell on her and rushed to open the door. She ran out of the bedroom, wanting to drag Jacob from the stairs. However, she didn't anticipate that Jacob would still be standing at the door. She smashed right into his chest and lost her balance. Jacob grabbed her by the waist and caught her just in time. He bent low to meet her gaze and said, Could you not keep falling down all the time? Sophie felt the warmth of his strong arms and hands on her waist, and she let him move away the few strands of hair from her face. Jacob continued to talk while still holding her. Do you think I'm the kind of person who would tell on you? Sophie blushed hard and slowly began to raise her head and body. She straightened herself, and Jacob slowly let go of her waist, but kept looking at her. You sure look like a person who would tell on me, but I'm glad you didn't. She looked up at him and smiled. Jacob walked into her bedroom and got a playful slap from Sophie on the back. Hey, where are your manners? Don't just randomly come into my bedroom. Sophie stood at the door and looked at Jacob. Jacob turned around to meet her gaze and came closer to her. You have a problem with me entering my fiancé's bedroom? You... Sophie stared at Jacob. She was hesitant, but somehow she didn't want him to go away. Jacob looked at her eyes. They were red, and it seemed like she had cried. He saw this and quit the idea of teasing her anymore. He pretended to look around her bedroom casually. A poster of Sophie as a kid riding on her father's back in his dragon form was hammered in on top of the bed. She had a wide smile across her face. Sophie's mother had tried to make the room cozy and pretty for her darling daughter. But the high school girl sitting on the bed, confused about her future, made it all seem fruitless. Jacob sat down next to her on the bed and joined her in her silence. Jacob and Sophie had been quiet for some time now. Jacob was sitting right next to her on the bed and could feel her body heat on his left side. The fragrance of her body mist filled his nostrils, and for a few moments he was lost in thought. He had told Sophie to stop falling every now and then, but now he wanted her to, just so that he could catch her again and feel the warmth of her skin on his hands. Jacob turned his head towards Sophie and saw that she was deep in thought. It seemed that she was still upset and this feeling wasn't going to go away that easily. He slowly got up from the bed to leave her with her thoughts. Just as he stood up, Sophie looked at him and said, "Where are you going?" Jacob turned around to look at her. "I'm just taking a tour of your room," he said gently. Sophie didn't answer him. She probably didn't know what to say. "I'll leave if you're feeling uncomfortable," Jacob continued. "No," Sophie exclaimed. "You can stay here," she said softly. Jacob knew she wasn't okay with the fiancé situation, but perhaps she needed a friend who could understand her situation because he was in the same boat too. "That's what I'll do, then. I'll be a friend," thought Jacob. He asked Sophie, "Is there anything to do around here?" Sophie got up from the bed and sat in front of the computer and reactivated the screen with her mouse. "We can play games on my computer," she said as the desktop wallpaper emerged. She had a bright smile, and she was sticking out her tongue in the picture. She seemed to love the beach, going by the happy picture. She quickly switched the screen, as she must have noticed that Jacob was looking at the picture. However, Jacob couldn't see her expression from where he was, but she was blushing. A little embarrassed, Sophie distracted herself by playing Plants vs. Zombies. She focused on continuing her last level, and as she did, she unintentionally forgot that Jacob was still in the room. Out of boredom, Jacob picked out a random book from the bookshelf across the room and sat down on a chair near the balcony. Soon, he too was lost in the book. Sophie suddenly remembered about Jacob and turned her head around only to see him read quietly. She couldn't help but glimpse at him in between the game. "He doesn't look like a bad guy. He is cute, too," she thought to herself as she looked at him. "But to marry him..." Sophie felt internally conflicted. She pouted as she carried on with her game. Time flew by as she fought through many levels. She was deeply focused on the game now, as more and more zombies kept showing up on her screen, and the pea shooters Sophie planted weren't enough to defeat them. She could do nothing but watch the zombies break through the door. She failed the level 5 times and finally got frustrated by it. She threw the mouse on the desk as if she was mad at her computer. "Don't take it out on the mouse," a voice came from behind her. She turned around to see Jacob standing behind her. When did he get here? She wondered. She couldn't control her blush. She blamed herself for being too focused and forgetting about Jacob. However, it wasn't completely her fault, as this was her bedroom, and she had always been alone in there. Her complete attention was at the game, and it made her forget about her fiancé. "I can't get through this level," she admitted sheepishly. "Plant 2 rows of sunflowers in the back. Leave an empty roll for ice pea shooters in the front. Plant another roll of pea shooters in front of that. Then, plant a roll of potatoes. Same in the water, except planting the lotus leaves first," Jacob said. "Pfft, that would never work." Sophie wasn't convinced. "Your way isn't working either, is it?" said Jacob. Sophie pondered over Jacob's idea for a few minutes before she started the level again. She successfully passed the level using Jacob's strategy. "Did it work?" said Jacob, who had returned to his reading chair. "No," said Sophie. She didn't want him to think that he was right. Jacob stood up, pretending to go over and check. Sophie quickly exited the game in panic. However, she bit her lip to control her blush. Don't look at it." Sophie stood up hastily to block his view. She was conscious about Jacob or anyone else seeing her in a swimsuit. Jacob chuckled and teased her. "I've already seen the live version. Why can't I see the picture?" Sophie gritted her teeth and clenched her fists. She hit Jacob on his chest. Thanks to the loss of her internal core, it wasn't a strong hit. Instead of causing pain to Jacob's chest, it felt like she had put her hand through a wall. Sophie smiled at Jacob's reaction because he was covering his chest and pretending to be hurt. "Humph! I shall teach you another lesson if you say something like that again," she said playfully. She then sat down and continued with her Plants vs. Zombies game. Jacob was bored of reading, so he dragged a chair beside her and watched her play. Sophie was, in fact, bored of playing alone, so she was glad he came to watch her. Not to mention, she certainly needed some help with some levels. Plant a chomper here. Here, collect the sun. Here comes the last wave. Get the cherry bombs ready. Jacob kept on instructing on the side. So annoying. I know. Sophie blamed the hard levels as she did what Jacob said. Her hand was moving quickly with the mouse. The two of them were too focused on the screen to realize Helen had quietly pushed open the door a bit to take a look at them, and stood by the door for a while. She had smiled and left in delight after learning that the two of them were getting along. Time flew until they reached the last level, and soon, it was
time for Jacob to leave.
Helen knocked on the door. Sophie paused the game, and Jacob snapped out of the game as well. Okay, enough gaming.
Come downstairs,
Helen said in a gentle tone. Sophie turned her head to face the door to look at Helen, and then turned to look at Jacob. She suddenly realized they were sitting very close to each other, so when she turned, her face was almost touching Jacob's. She slowly moved away from him, her face turning red as she did. Jacob straightened himself as well. Sophie turned off the computer and hastily walked out of the room as she pretended to be calm. As she climbed down the stairs with him, she wondered, a few days ago, I did not like that guy at all. How come I was having so much fun playing games with him? Jacob was surprised at himself, too. They saw the table packed with delicious dishes when they got to the little dining room downstairs. It's late, and I should get going, Jacob said. Have dinner here, Dracon said in a calm tone. It sounded more like a command than an invitation. Would they keep me for the night, too, after dinner? Jacob thought to himself. But he quickly abandoned the silly thought and sat down. It was a usual family dinner where Helen and Dracon talked about the trivial things in life. Jacob was randomly listening in when they talked about things he didn't understand. Certainly, the couple didn't keep Jacob for the night after dinner. As he said his goodbyes, Helen turned to Sophie and said, Go see him off, Soph. Sophie stood up reluctantly. She was tired. She looked at Jacob and followed him to the door. Jacob turned around when they were on the crosswalk outside of their house. He told Sophie, It's okay. You can go back now. Oh, thanks, Jacob. She turned around to go back inside. Sophie! Helen's voice was loud and scary. Reluctantly, Sophie turned back again as she looked at Jacob sadly. Jacob and Sophie walked towards the bus stop 500 meters away without a word. The ruffle sleeves of her white t-shirt and her floral red short skirt was fluttering in the wind. Jacob looked at her and felt attracted to her. He found her sweet, cute, and sexy. If it wasn't for their awkward situation, he would have kissed her, or asked her out at the very least. They reached the bus stop and Jacob gently asked Sophie to head home. I know you're tired. The day was pretty overwhelming, he said. Yeah. Sophie nodded with her head down. She suddenly looked up and stared at Jacob for a few moments. Then she turned and began walking back to her house. Jacob realized that he didn't even have her number as he watched her walk away. Even though she was just a high schooler, she should have a cell phone by now, shouldn't she? He kept thinking about her on the ride back. Does she even like me?
Will Jacob and Sophie's budding friendship blossom into something more, or will the weight of their unconventional engagement continue to hold them back? What secrets lie hidden beneath Sophie's tough exterior, and how will Jacob's growing attraction to her change the dynamics of their relationship?
Please subscribe to the Pocket FM YouTube channel and press the bell icon for instant notification. Check out our channel for more such exciting shows.